What's up guys, welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you want to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Well, how about we find some fire of frost dragons, tame them, and bring them in here? I could even catch 'em for ya.
This voice sounded familiar to Rimuru. It belonged to someone who shouldn't have been here. Rimuru turned around to find a pair of platinum pink pigtails framing a face staring right at him. It was Milim.
What are you doing here, Milim?
This was, I remind you, the 100th floor, the bottom of a freshly designed dungeon. It wasn't open to the public, there shouldn't have been any way to get inside. So why was the demon lord Milim grinning at me in here? Raphael apparently noticed her but didn't report to me about it because she didn't pose a threat. I know I gave the initial order, but maybe I should reconsider. Raphael was so inflexible like that. It annoyed me, but that could wait. I had Milim to deal with.
Ha ha.
She met my eyes as she stood proud, sticking out her non-existent chest.
You looked like you were doing something interesting here, so I stopped on by. You got guts, you know, trying to shut me out of the fun.
Her wardrobe was as revealing as always, but it actually covered more of her body than before. Shuna and the Goblinas had been designing her outfits, so maybe she developed a shred of fashion sense. The massive dragon knuckles dully shining on her hands didn't match too well, though. Very Milim-like was all I could say. She really was still a kid. But I didn't mean to keep her away from the action. If she wanted to help out.
Hey, Milim, huh?
Veldora gave her a glance.
This is noble work, performed by grown-ups. It is far too complex for children like you. This is not a playground. Stay out of our way.
Veldora shut her down before Rimuru could even respond. This was work, more or less, but it sure didn't feel that way to Rimuru.
My master is right,
shouted Ramirez in a fury.
We're on work duty right now, so go away and bother someone else for a change.
Alas, Milim simply snatched the pixie out of the air. Ramirez needed courage to try that with her, but she also needed strength to back it up. I'm sure not that brave.
What do you mean? It looks interesting. I'm planning a huge festival, remember? And I'm even gonna accommodate the request you gave me in your letter, too.
Ha. You didn't ignore my letter.
Of course not. I'm inviting demon lords to this event, you know. I'm not about to piss them off for no reason.
Milim looked a bit peeved, although contented that Rimuru didn't forget about her request.
Wait a minute, Rimuru.
Ramirez shouted, livid about this treatment at Milim's hands.
I'm a demon lord, too, you know. Part of the octagram with you and Milim.
Oh yeah, Ramirez, I didn't even need to send you an invite, huh? Not after you decided to just up and move here.
What? You moved here? Wait a second, Ramirez, are you living with Rimuru?
Ramirez began to panic a bit.
Yes, I moved here, okay? So the invitation doesn't even matter. I'm not alone any longer, and I'm living with Rimuru and everything, too.
Great. Panic or not, that statement was bound to be misunderstood.
Aw, that's no fair. I wanna live here too.
Tough luck. I've got a job here, remember? I'm helping out Rimuru. I'm not some overbearing, unwelcome houseguest like you.
What? How dare you say that? Why, I oughta.
Milim was ready to duke it out right now. Ramirez, despite how hopeless her chances were, refused to stand down. Rimuru? He just watched it unfold. Fortunately, this was just a verbal spat, limited to the two trading insults with each other. Neither had the vocabulary for this kind of contention, which made it kinda cute in a way. Ramirez occasionally accentuated her disses with a flying kick to Milim, who kept trying to grab her out of the air. It was kind of like a game of tag, and from the side, this almost looked like they were playing at recess. Apparently, they've known each other for a while, so perhaps this was just their way of expressing affection. Their squabbling came to a close within moments, however. Shuna had just arrived with some sweets in tow, took one look at the two demon lords, and shot them a firm rebuke.
No sweets for anyone who's bickering.
That immediately shut them both up. A couple slices of cake later, and everything was roses. They were awfully chummy now, but more importantly, Rimuru needed to grill Milim over why she came here in the first place.
So, Milim, what are you doing here?
I told you. You looked like you were up to some fun stuff.
Is that really it?
Aha. But now I'm really glad I came. This cake tastes so good, and I like what you're doing with this labyrinth. I had no idea Ramirez could make herself so useful.
Sure showed you, huh? I've got untold powers at my disposal, you know. You just never noticed.
You didn't, either, Ramirez, I thought. But, Man, Milam really has a keen nose for underground scheming like this. You literally can't hide anything from her. She had 2 ex-demon lords in Carolon and Frey to deal with, but she still had the time and wherewithal to look into stuff all the way over here. Logic just didn't work with her. She shouldn't be able to get in here, but maybe it wasn't unusual at all for Milam. Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised.
Alright, we have had our dessert. How about we get back to work? You can enjoy this, too, Milam, if you stay out of the way.
Veldora was being unusually mature and accommodating. Come to think of it, a fight between him and Milam would be a serious problem. Milam was going easy on Ramirez, but it'd be a different story with this dragon. If they started to tangle, this whole labyrinth would fall apart. Good thing she was on Veldora's good side for now.
No complaint there, master.
Ramirez said. She and Milam actually got along pretty well. In Rimaru's eyes, that fight just now must have just been some friendly teasing.
All right.
Exclaimed an excited Milam.
I won't get in your way. Give all the work you want.
Rimuru figured he was safe in accepting that offer, but one concern remained, something he needed confirmation for.
Well, I don't mind if you join in, but...
Great. This looks like so much fun. I wish you called for me back, when you were planning it.
Right, but Milam, what about the people working under you? Did you get permission from Carolon or Frey to come here?
She was a free spirit, to be sure, but she was also a demon lord, one with 2 ex-demon lords in her stable and all of Clayman's old land to rule on top of her own. Even with Carolon and Frey running things in her territory, she had to be a lot busier than before. Did she really have the time to go poking around my domain for fun? Huh? Me, you ask? Hey, I got talented people working under me, so I got time for projects like this, yeah. I'd just get in their way if I bothered them. Besides, I had a fully valid motive for this plan, a desire to attract more visitors to Tempest. This wasn't playtime for me, I promise. But who cares about me? Milam was the issue right now, and my question had just caught her out.
Well, you know, I'm really smart and stuff, so, not like I ran away from my place cause I don't like studying or anything.
Aha, Frey must have been researching the state of Milam's domain and teaching her about it. That must have bored her so badly that she fled her own country.
Wait, no.
Milam blurted out before Rimuru could even answer.
Don't say it. I'm staying here and helping you, and that's that.
Sharp as a tack, that girl. I should really contact Carolon or Frey about this, but, who cares? Not like they'll get angry at me. I'll just pretend I didn't know any better. But back to what she said earlier.
Alright, that's your mess to clean up, as far as I'm concerned. You're the one who's gonna get yelled at, not me. But what about those dragons you mentioned? You said you could bring them over and tame them? Is that really possible?
Huh, you really think they'll be angry at me? Whatever. It's not an adventure without a little danger, as they always say.
She was acting like a child willing to do anything to avoid doing their homework. But that was the path she'd decided to take, and I suppose it was my job to watch over her. She may have been conflicted over it, but she elected to goof off anyway.
But dragons, huh? Sure, you can tame 'em. I can do it for you, if you want.
Now her mind was entirely on our project, talking about taming dragons like it was catching butterflies with a net. I couldn't ask for anything better.
You'll do that for me? So what types of dragons are there? Will they be anything like Veldora, or?
Hey, if she's offering, then I'm happy to take her up on it. I kept my questions pretty casual as a result, but Milam and Veldora were quick to respond almost in unison.
Rimuru, those are 2 completely different things.
Very different.
Veldora intoned.
I will not allow you to bunch me in with those lizards the way Luminous does.
They both had strong objections that then segued into an equally intense explanation of the nitty-gritty of dragonkind.
The draconic species of this world is nothing more than monsters created from broken-down elements in the body of Veldanava, my elder brother, the Star King Dragon, and the most powerful of our kind.
Veldora began. Basically, the difference between regular dragons and Veldora's kind involved the difference between a material life form and a spiritual one. Regular dragons, as monsters, have a physical presence in the world. They were called dragons since they resembled the ones of myth and legend, but in essence, they were closer to dinosaurs, big, mean lizards. There were only 4 true dragons in the history of the world, 3 of which currently existed. The Star King Dragon Veldanava, Veldora's older brother and Milam's father, perished following certain unspecified events, and he hadn't shown any signs of reviving ever since. Dragons had eternal life, so something really serious must have gone down with that guy. But that was outside the scope of this conversation. Veldanava was the origin of the monsters known as dragons, or to be exact, the spirit dragon that he gave Milam as a pet. With what Rimuru heard from Ellen before, he supposes this spirit dragon died and subsequently became a chaos dragon, and then the essence of its body spread far and wide. The remnants of this essence were still birthing lesser dragons to this day in areas with high magicule concentrations. If you had enough bits from the spirit dragon to work with, they could even create archdragons. The most powerful among these archdragons were called dragon lords, which came in 4 types depending on the element it was affiliated with. These dragon lords, who boasted human-level wisdom, had spent several centuries as archdragons before making the evolution, and with their strength, they could tap into some of the powers of the original spirit dragon. With their extended lifespans, dragon lords were a step closer to spiritual life forms, although they couldn't resurrect themselves from death the way Veldora and his ilk could. The sky dragon Rimuru defeated a while back was one of these archdragons, classified as a calamity-level threat. A dragon lord would be even stronger than that, up to a demon lord's powers, about as strong as Clayman or a high-level spirit. That level of magicule energy should be more than enough to wrangle the floor effects Rimuru wanted for his labyrinth.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Milam interjected.
I may be incredible, but not even I can tame a dragon lord.
Getting an intelligent being like a dragon lord to cooperate with us would be pretty fruitless, now that she mentioned it. Maybe we could get one to agree to the job if we asked them nicely, but it wasn't that worth it to try, I thought.
Guess not, huh? So what did you mean when you said you could catch one?
Well, there are some archdragons with elemental attributes to them, even if they aren't quite dragon lords. If we catch some, and let them run free in this dungeon, they'll eat up the magicules and change the landscape around them, I think.
I see. Dragons were in the habit of creating nests for themselves, so wherever they decided to set up shop, they'd transform the local environment for us. We had tons of magicules for them to chow down on, so no issues there. Let's go with Milam's offer.
Alright, can you do that for me?
You got it. I'll grab you one from each type, right on the cusp of becoming a dragon lord.
As she explained, dragons derived from that original spirit dragon came in just 4 types.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to RTSH Sta, Taylor OG, Goan Shuan, Stratus Lampro, Jake Rom, Claymore Xnex, Anshu Mishra, John Wise, Joshua Juarez, Emerald Tempest, Yusef BTR, Animes 9, Paul Araza, Abhishek Main, Sophie Liz, and last but not least, shout out to Swarup Sagar. I'll see you guys in the next video.